All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're taking a journey deep inside the body to look at its incredible built-in purification plant. We're talking about the amazing system that works 24/7 to keep you running smoothly. So have you ever really stopped to think about this? Your body has about 5 liters of blood, and it cleans all of it every single day, multiple times, in fact. How on earth does it manage this constant, life-sustaining cleaning cycle? Well, the answer lies in a pair of brilliant, bean-shaped organs. Now, the official term for this whole cleaning process is excretion. And it's not just about getting rid of random waste. It's a very specific process of removing the particular byproducts that your cells create, things like nitrogenous waste. You can really think of it as the ultimate biological housekeeping service. Okay, so to understand how this all happens, we need to meet the whole team. Let's start with the big picture view, what you might call the body's plumbing, the urinary system. Here are the key players. You've got 2 kidneys, and these are the main filtration factories. Connected to them are these 2 long tubes called the ureters. They lead down to the urinary bladder, which is basically a holding tank. And finally, you have the urethra, which is the exit route. It's a pretty simple, really elegant, and incredibly effective setup. So yeah, the whole flow is just that simple. The kidneys are the factories making the urine by filtering your blood. The ureters are the transport tubes. The bladder is the holding tank, and the urethra is the exit. Each part has a very specific job to do, and they all work together in perfect harmony. All right, now that we've seen the whole system, let's zoom in on the real star of the show, the kidney. We're going to go from the organ level right down to the nitty-gritty, its internal workings, to see where the real magic happens. So if you were to slice a kidney open, you'd immediately see 2 main areas. The outer reddish-brown layer, that's the cortex, and the paler inner section is the medulla. Both of these zones are just packed with the machinery that does all the heavy lifting, and each one plays a really distinct role. But here's what's so fascinating. The real work doesn't happen at a scale you can see with your eyes. Nope, it's all being done by over 1 million microscopic filtering units packed inside each and every kidney. And here it is. This is one of those units. Meet the nephron. This little structure is the microscopic powerhouse of the kidney. The entire job, filtering your blood, creating urine, it all happens right here, in over 1 million of these tiny structures, all working in parallel. You can think of each nephron as its own little assembly line. It all starts with the glomerulus, which is this little ball of capillaries tucked inside the Bowman's capsule. From there, the fluid goes on a long journey through a series of tubes: the proximal convoluted tubule, the loop of Henle, the distal convoluted tubule, and finally into something called a collecting duct. So how does this tiny nephron actually turn dirty blood into clean blood plus urine? Well, it's not just a simple filter. It's a highly sophisticated, super precise 3-step process. And those 3 steps are, first, ultrafiltration, where basically everything gets pushed out. Second, selective reabsorption, where the body takes back all the good stuff. And third, tubular secretion, which is like the final cleanup. Let's break them down one by one. The whole thing, this entire amazing process, is kicked off by one simple physical force: pressure. Without that pressure, absolutely nothing happens. So where does that pressure come from? Well, it's actually a pretty clever bit of plumbing. The blood vessel going into the filter, that's the afferent arteriole, is wider than the one leaving it, the efferent arteriole. This size difference creates a bottleneck, which builds up really high pressure inside that little ball of capillaries, the glomerulus. Okay, so this high pressure literally forces all the small stuff out of the blood and into the nephron. Water, salts, glucose, waste products like urea, they all get squeezed out. But the bigger things, like your red blood cells and large proteins, they're too big to fit through the filter, so they stay behind in the blood. But hold on, there's a problem, right? This filtration is so aggressive that it pushes out a ton of stuff the body actually needs to keep: water, glucose, important ions. If we just got rid of all of that, we would be in some serious trouble. And this brings us to the absolutely crucial next step: selective reabsorption. As all that filtered fluid flows through those long, winding tubes, the body gets really smart and actively pulls back all the valuable stuff it needs. You can see things like water and salts moving out of the tubule and back into the blood. This is where almost all of the glucose and most of the water are reclaimed. And then finally, there's one last quality control check. This happens in the later part of the tube system. It's a process called tubular secretion, and it's kind of like a reverse filter. The body actively moves any leftover waste products from the blood into the tubule. This just makes sure the blood leaving the kidney is as clean as it can possibly be. So, after all these tiny microscopic steps, the filtration, the reabsorption, the secretion, what's the big picture result? Well, it's all about maintaining a perfect internal balance for your entire body. And that state of balance has a name. It's called homeostasis. And the excretory system, with the kidneys in the driver's seat, is one of the main regulators of this delicate, life-sustaining equilibrium. And this just shows you how important they are. Kidneys are so much more than just waste removers. They precisely regulate your blood volume and your blood pressure, they control your electrolyte levels, they manage your blood's pH, and they get rid of metabolic wastes. They are true master regulators. And just to give you a sense of the sheer scale of this whole operation, get this. Your kidneys filter a staggering 180 liters of blood every single day. That's like 90 of those big 2-liter soda bottles. It's an incredible amount. And after filtering that enormous volume, the final product is only about 1.5 liters of urine. So what does that tell you? It means that over 99% of everything that was initially filtered out gets reabsorbed back into your body. That is just a mind-blowing level of efficiency. So the next time you think about your body, just remember the tireless, microscopic work happening inside your kidneys. And it really leaves you with a fascinating thought, doesn't it? If this one tiny bean-shaped organ is performing such a complex and vital balancing act, what other hidden wonders are working around the clock right now, just to keep you alive?